recording on both.
All right, so am I. Whew, here we go. Thanks for coming to hear the Quird on the street. I'm just so proud to be here. I'd like to thank all the people for my Spanish 104 college course who told me that I'd never make it. Thank the Quird Academy, and of course, thanks to the witch from behind the Wendy's dumpster who cursed me to always speak as if I'm reciting an acceptance speech. I am your award host, Vince. And with me is a man who was struggling, but now he wakes up at 4:45 a.m., does 145 minutes of cardio, takes a cold shower, drives his supercar, and he knows that his net work is his net worth. He is your Sigma male grind host, Josh.
Oh man, these just keep getting better and better.
I mean, these ones just wrote themselves. How you doing?
I'm good. Just another.
You on that grind?
Oh yeah, that's how I live. Grind. Grind.
Yep. Grind. On the way to that shine.
Yeah. How about you? How you doing?
I'm fine, man. Yesterday's worries are today's screeds.
Oh.
Is that how the saying goes?
Yeah, I think so. I think you got it correct.
Cool. Thought so. Do you have a fun fact?
Yeah. Fun fact. I don't have a fun fact.
That's good. What's new with you this week? I feel like we actually haven't talked like this whole week. We both been a little crazy.
Minecraft.
Oh yeah, Minecraft.
I started a Minecraft
Sure.
server again because I gifted my 12-year-old nephew a computer, his first computer at that, and he loves Minecraft. So I decided, you know what? I haven't played in a while. Why don't I make a server so we can play together? And
Yep.
He has been on once. And I have been on every night since.
Yeah. So are you the one that put all those fucking villagers in the house?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Wait,
so
have
that,
you logged
so
in?
That if you're... yeah. Did you not see my cat in the house yesterday?
Yeah, but I didn't know who did it.
Yeah, that was me. I even wrote you a note on the sign that you left for me. I said thanks.
Oh, no.
But those stupid villagers just standing around.
You can turn them off. You can turn off like friendly sounds in the... Yeah, but do you know why do you see why they're there?
I don't. I've not understood the point of villagers yet.
So downstairs in the basement, there's a carrot farm.
Yeah.
Okay? You can use one of the skills in the mod pack is called twerk, and it allows you, if you stand on a block of crops and you hold shift, and it makes it instantly grow. So you can stand in the center of a 3x3 block of carrots and hit shift and grow them all the way out, and then right click and harvest all of them. And so basically you can just hold shift, look down, and right click over and over again until you fill your inventory with carrots. And then you run upstairs to the farmers and you can trade the carrots for emeralds. And then you can trade all the emeralds to the librarians that are up there for all the different books to enchant your items.
Wow.
Yes. I'm actually in the process, or I was earlier, of making 2 more levels. I'm going to put farmers on one whole level, librarians on another, and then continue to grow up because there's like butchers. There's like, I think 9 or 12 different professions that you can get.
Why does there need to be so many?
Because they do different things. Like they provide different blocks.
Gotcha.
And it'll become really helpful because this mod pack that we're playing, once we make the vault altar, or vaulter, if you will, you place those vault rocks in there to make a crystal. And when you place a vault rock in there, it gives you 4 random items of random quantities that you need to put into the altar to turn that vault rock into a crystal. At the beginning, they're pretty easy, but as you progress, the recipes get harder and harder to the point where you'll need like 31,000 brick. So the whole point of the game is to, as we progress, is to create automation as much as possible to be able to fuel these blocks to keep doing vaults. So basically want to automate everything. Like we'll move into digital storage where everything is done through basically like a computer system. And
all right, well, just let me know what I need to do. I'm not about to learn all that. So just
we need another fortress We need blaze rods to find the end.
Okay.
I have to go to the end and defeat the dragon before we can do anything.
Just, I don't know. Is there a way to leave me notes in game? Can you just leave me notes for like the simple tasks that I need to do when I log in case you're not on?
I mean, I could just leave a sign, I guess. I don't know if there's probably a way to write notes in there. I'm not sure. Or I could just,
we'll see.
I could just write you a message in Discord.
We'll figure that out after we're done recording the podcast that we record together.
Yeah. Wait, this podcast isn't about Minecraft? I'm confused.
It could be someday.
Yeah, right?
Well, it will slowly morph into a Minecraft podcast, but for now, we are a podcast that, picks a word from the Quirtle words from last week. There's 28 of them. We pick one of them. We talk about whatever the hell we can based on them. You know the deal, Josh, right?
Oh, I forgot.
If you don't, I'll demonstrate.
Yeah, why don't you go?
Because I go first this week. Okay, I think I will. The word that I picked this week is field. This made me think of fielding questions, like an interview.
Okay.
Right? So I'm gonna need you to go into the episode doc.
Yeah, I have it open.
You have it open.
I can see a bunch of numbers, and that's it.
Yes, all the questions in here are white. So I'm going to roll a number. And then we are going to, jump back and forth, asking each other the questions that we reveal.
Okay.
By turning the questions, black, I guess.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. I will go first. I'm going to ask you question number 239 here. There's like 400-ish questions.
239. Okay, you're gonna turn it black, or you're gonna turn the color, I'm assuming.
I am. What makes you really angry, Josh?
Ooh. Inconsiderate people.
Inconsiderate.
Yeah.
I can understand that. How precisely do you define inconsiderate?
People that just don't operate under common courtesy. Like people that don't hold the door open. If somebody is within reasonable distance from you and you don't hold the door open, that shit annoys me. Like,
yeah, I get that.
Like, yeah, I mean, if they're just getting out of their car and you see them, yeah, that's one thing. But if they're within like 5 paces from you, hold the door open. You're gonna lose 3 seconds.
Nope. Open the door just barely enough for you to slither inside, and then let it close behind you.
Yeah, I mean that stuff. People that don't use turn signals.
Yeah,
it's like, why?
I don't know if I heard this somewhere or if this is an original thought, but I've been thinking about this today specifically for some reason. I don't know. My mind gets stuck in these loops. But everybody's so obsessed with defensive driving, right?
Yeah.
But that's really a misnomer. Like defensive driving is more about predictable driving than it is about like driving slow, right?
Yeah.
And that's what turn signals are all about. Like,
yeah,
just let people know what you're about to do.
Well, and it's just like the other day I was coming home from work and I'm behind this lady and her right brake light is out and she happens to be in the same cul-de-sac area as me. We stopped and told her.
Yeah.
I'm like, your right brake light's out. Like, or she gets pulled over for a ticket or whatever. She's older. Like she didn't know that it was out. I don't know. It just... There's a real lack of...
How are you supposed to know that your brake lights are out?
You won't. I mean, I've had it happen to me. The only reason I knew it was out is because I got pulled over for it.
Yep.
So, yeah, just inconsiderate people in general. I'm just...
Yeah, absolutely.
Either that or I would say other things that make me angry. Or another thing is people that work in the customer service field that are just miserable.
Yeah.
Like...
I mean, yeah. I give those people a lot of slack.
So do I. Yeah. I give you a lot of slack. You can be slow. You can be... Put a fucking smile on. Like, it doesn't take much for you to just smile and have a nice day. But when somebody just like throws my food out the window at me or doesn't say anything, like, why do you work there? Like, there's a million other places you could apply to. Like, if that's the only place you got, I'm sorry. But like, come on. Like, that does so much for somebody. Just showing any kind of kindness throughout somebody's day. I don't know. I've been thinking about that more and more. Like that, they say you never know what people are going through. Just a small act of kindness of you telling somebody to have a good day or something really can change somebody's whole day. You have no idea what's going on. And like people that are just, I mean, I guess they could say the same. I don't know what they're going through, but
yeah, the flip side is also true.
But it's like, I don't know. I've definitely faked it before.
No, I totally get what you mean. It's nope. Lost the thought that I was gonna say. Sorry for cutting you off, and then immediately forgetting what I was gonna say.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that just makes a big difference. It improves customer experience, but I also feel like if you can put a smile on, or at least for me, if that person can put a smile on and they seem happy when they talk to me, that makes me want to like talk to them. So like I was going to Dunkin' Donuts all the time because this guy that was there was always there. I think he might have been the manager. He was just super nice. Hey, how's it going, man? Like tipped him a few times, even though like you don't really normally tip at Dunkin' Donuts, but like he just was genuinely he made my experience a lot better just by being a genuine person.
Yeah, absolutely. Goes a long way.
Yeah. Those are some of the things that get me angry. How about you? What are your things, or are we only answering our own questions?
I was planning on only answering my own the ones that we asked, but I can answer this pretty quick. It is related to the turn signals thing. It is people who just disregard rules of the road in the name of being nice. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a mailman. I deliver mail, and regularly I have to cross the street.
Yeah.
And I absolutely hate it when people stop to let me pass, to let me cross the street. Just go by. If you stop, I'm not going to cross because I don't know who's coming the other way. I don't know if anybody else
you can't see around.
Can predict what this person is doing, if they're going to go around them. It's a safety hazard. So no, I'm not going to cross. Yeah. And people like, I don't know, they're trying to be nice and I get it, but no, just do the rules. And the rules are there. The rules of the road exist to prevent stupid shit from happening. And you're doing stupid shit.
Well, it's just like when you get to, like, it happens near where I'm at all the time. You get to a 4-way stop and like, I clearly know that the person across from me came to a stop before I did.
Yep.
And they just sit there.
People who wave people along at a 4-way stop. There's rules to tell us who is supposed to go. You don't have to wave.
Yep. Well, except for when the person that's supposed to go is not going.
Yeah.
Well, then you have to wave them on. Like, come on. Because that's the same thing. Like you said, I'm not going to start going. And then you decide, it's just like becomes a standoff.
Yep, I don't even wave people. I just start shrugging at them.
I just wave them on.
What's happening? What are we doing here? Why are we driving if you don't? Anyway, we'll move on.
People suck at driving.
All right. I am rolling for you.
Okay.
64. Go to 64.
Okay. Let's
make it black, and we'll see what the question is.
I only have I only have view capability.
Oh, okay. I'll make it black then. Boom.
Have you already experienced writing a journal?
No. I will say that we can get like 5 reroll. Well, no, we'll just reroll this one. I'm not going to set a number. 103. Go here.
103. Okay.
Black.
If someone would let you borrow their car, where would you go?
The fuck? I have a car.
Are you sure?
I think it's worth noting at this point that these questions are from Parade magazine.
You just pull them off of their thing, like,
Yeah, man. I do have a similar list like this from Teen Vogue, if you want to switch over to those.
No, these ones are fine.
Okay. If someone would let you borrow their car, so what?
Okay, here's a better way to phrase this. Instead of saying somebody will let you borrow a car, if somebody was providing you any means of transportation to go anywhere, where would you go and why? So whether it be plane ride or a boat somewhere.
Okay, yeah. This is tough. I would go to some national park.
Okay.
I don't know, man. It's hard to answer, and this is a very broad answer to it. But like the national parks are fascinating to me, so I would go to maybe Yosemite, but that's like not a car ride away from New York.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. They would pay for a plane.
Oh, okay. So any form of transportation. Yeah, in that case, then I would go to like those Western U.S. National parks, something. Joshua Tree or Yosemite or like Redwoods.
Yeah. Anytime somebody brings go ahead.
Anytime someone brings up your tree.
Yeah. Anytime somebody brings up Joshua Tree, all I can think about is the episode of Entourage where they drive out there to make the decisions and they all take shrooms. Then Ari gets lost in the in the desert. Oh man.
Yeah. That's a legitimately scary episode. Like getting lost in the desert's no joke. In Joshua Tree, like even though Palm Springs is right there, like it's a legitimate desert. You could legitimately get lost and die.
Well, it's not only that, like they're also tripping. Like you could get lost normally.
Yeah.
But you're on shrooms and everything's scary. Like, I mean, obviously not everybody has a bad trip, but like, man, that just sounds terrifying.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the sort of thing, like they say that, what is it, set and setting are the like big things when it comes to tripping. Like you have to put yourself in the right mindset and be in the right spot in order to not have a bad trip, and just like going out into the desert and then losing yourself and tripping, like that's it. Neither the set nor the setting is good for that.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, I rolled 122.
Okay.
If you survived a plane crash, what would you do next?
I mean, I guess that depends.
I guess for this question to work, you would have to survive and be rescued. So you're not like deserted or anything. You're back on solid ground.
I guess maybe I'm thinking too far into it, but like I probably would want to know the cause of the plane crash. I was like, is it airline fault? Because then I feel like I might be entitled to some money, and that could change what I do.
So you're going the legal route.
Well, I'm just wondering, like, if there's clear fault, like obviously things happen, like you can't predict like storms and that kind of stuff, but like if there was things where like maintenance wasn't performed and something happened, then that would change. But if it was just like freak accident, plane crash, I would just live my life. But I probably at that point I can imagine I might not want to go on planes again. I mean, depending on how traumatizing it is, I
suppose.
I mean, it really changes. Like, is it we were in a plane crash and everybody survived and we landed in the ocean, or did we all hit the ground on impact and I got yeeted out, but I survived? Like, that all plays, I think, a factor into what my next moves would be.
Yeah, it's hard to even imagine what a plane crash is like, right? Like, we see, like, there's the scene in Fight Club where the plane just, like, gets cut in half.
Yeah.
But you can't, like,
or Lost,
understand what a plane crash is going to be like. Well, yeah, Lost.
Like,
Lost starts after the crash.
Yeah, but
the plane has already crashed. They're already on the island.
Yeah, but they show it like in one of the like flashbacks.
I don't remember that, I guess.
Yeah,
but I believe you.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. So I mean that would really depend, I think, on what I would do. But I would say probably just be thankful and live my life. I mean, I don't know what else that would really change.
Because you will pay for chesa.
You'll pay for chesa. Okay.
Piapa chesa. 265 is your next question.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I guess I have to go undo it.
What was something you really wanted to do as a kid but never had the opportunity to do?
So much stuff. That's not like an indictment on my parents or anything. Just we lived out in the middle of nowhere, and it was hard to ask them to go so far out of their way to do stuff. I really wanted to play soccer in like some sort of intramural league, but I already bowled on Saturdays and had like sports practices usually during the week a couple times.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was middle school. High school, I bowled in the winter and did track in the spring. So like I had a lot of stuff going on. So it was hard to ask my parents to do any more stuff that they had to go out of their way to do. But I guess like having stuff that I couldn't buy was a big thing. Like you can't buy a Game Boy when you're a kid, right? But as an adult, I got a job at a video game store and like I could get any game and console that I wanted. So I guess that's really wanted to do, but never had the opportunity to. Wow, this is a really limiting question. Yeah, I guess it's just like play more sports.
Which is so odd to me.
Given who I am.
Well, because now you're not like a huge sports person. Like you don't follow sports. I mean, not to the extent of like do you have a favorite? I mean, I guess the Chargers maybe, but like you have favorite sports teams or like
Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
at least
you
the
never
sports
talk
that I
about it.
find interesting. I don't like all sports. Like there's some people who just like all sports and will follow everything and everyone, and I just can't do that. I like the Chargers as a franchise in the NFL. Kind of. I don't really have any link to them anymore. I liked them because of Drew Brees and then LaDainian Tomlinson and Phillip Rivers, but now they're all gone and it's a whole new team, and I don't think I have any real link to them anymore.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm a Bills fan now. I've really come to like the Bills lately just because I like seeing people around me enjoy things.
Yeah.
And everybody around me is a Bills fan. So I like seeing the people around me enjoy the Bills doing well. And I want them to do well so that I can see those people enjoying it.
I think the Bills are a really cool thing too, because it's still like that small town feel. You know what I mean? Like, where obviously you have like, I mean, in comparison, I mean, they have the smallest stadium and smallest like town for any NFL team.
Maybe not for long.
No, I mean, the stadium's going to be bigger, but it's still going to be in the smallest like area.
I don't even know about that. Buffalo is New York's team, right?
Well,
like that's what everybody says. I think if you go out to even Albany, even if you start going downstate from there, I still think people out there are Bills fans because they are the only team that plays in New York.
I think that you hit Albany, and there's a mixture of people that still, there's some people that like the Bills, but I think you hit there, and then you really start hitting the Giants and the Jets fans. I think that everybody in New York right now likes Buffalo because they're the only New York team doing well. So like, while they're not rooting for them, if it was the Giants versus the Bills, if the Giants can't do good, then they might as well see the Bills do good. And it's like,
I guess
Bills did so bad for so long that they're like the underdog that everybody wants to see do well.
Yeah.
And Josh Allen's like just this big, goofy dude. He's not like your traditional quarterback. Like he's like 240, 6'5", but he's a running quarterback too. It's like, and everybody doubted him when he was coming in. And now he's just like, he's doing really well. He's goofy. I don't know. It just like filled the void.
I probably should have gone to see them. They're in training camp right now. They train in Rochester. Like, my mail route drives through the campus that they train at.
Yeah, definitely would be something cool to do. They're still practicing right now.
Yeah. Do you have to like pay to get into training camp? I don't know shit about shit.
I don't know. Maybe. I can't imagine it'd be much if it is. But
I see a lot of people bringing their kids.
Yeah, I know. I saw it was really cool. They just had a clip of a kid that was at training camp that lost his father recently, and Stephon Diggs, who's like the big name receiver for them, he had actually just talked about it not too long ago, how he lost his father when he was 14, and he heard about that kid being there, and he went around the barriers and went and like picked the kid up over the fence and brought him in and like stood there and talked with I think the kid was like 5, just stood there and talked with him, and like, that stuff means so much to the community, and like that little kid will never forget that.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, like, they're Buffalo, right? But they're more large. They're at least half of New York's team. Because people in Utica a lot of them are Buffalo Bills fans because.
I mean, you just see a lot of us coming out of the woodworks because there was a lot of quiet Bills fans for 20 years because they didn't do anything.
They weren't very quiet. They were the most vocal bad team fans.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they stick together, but I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. They have something special, though, man. Bills Mafia is just crazy. Like, I don't know if you've seen or heard about the stuff like the last playoff game of the season last year. Like, we lost, obviously.
Yep.
The plane gets back at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And there's 2,000 people at the airport just there to cheer them on. And that happens all the time. That's like crazy.
Yeah. This is the thing about all this, like, upstate New York cities. New York City, you kind of lose your identity, but all these upstate New York cities have a very distinctive identity. Buffalo in particular, because it's the second largest city in the state. But like Syracuse, they have a distinct identity. Rochester, we have a distinct identity. Like I was at a game night with a few friends a couple weeks ago, right? And I was talking about how cool I think the Rochester city seal is. It's this stylized flower. Rochester's the flower city.
Okay.
And they were like, oh yeah, it is cool. And they both pull up their sleeves and they both have a Rochester tattoo.
Oh, well, that's surprising.
So like the small sample size that I have is very proud of their city, and Utica is exactly the same way.
Yeah,
it's smaller, but like it's the small town feel of a city, and that's basically what all Buffalo fans are experiencing.
Yep.
Strong identity in Buffalo, strong identity in Rochester, in Syracuse, in Utica, even in Albany, and that is the demographic that Buffalo plays to. So everybody there feels very strongly about where they're from, and having a professional sports team just amplifies that to unbelievable levels.
Yeah, I mean, the same could be said like with Utica and the Comets. I mean, you see how much that lifted the economy and the morale of the town, of the city, just by having an AHL team.
I had this conversation with Sky about taxes and tax write-offs for businesses, right? He brought up like how he thinks it's I don't know exactly what his argument was, so Sky, I know you listen, don't hold me to this. I'm going to paraphrase. His argument was that it's unfair for businesses to be able to write off like company retreats to sporting events.
Why?
Well, it seems selfish. Like on its face, it seems selfish. Like you're just going to have some fun, do some stuff. But I had to like rein him in, be like, look, sports teams are some of the biggest economic drivers in cities. And I used Utica as an example.
Yeah.
There was that joke for years. Last person out of Utica turned the lights off.
Yep.
And Utica was a dying city. And then the sports team came in. This AHL team, not even a professional team, a farm team. And the owners started infusing money, and everything around the Odd in Utica is revamped. They're making downtown walkable. All this money gets infused. And I had to tell him, like, making a write-off is just you being allowed to choose where your tax money goes. And sports teams are a pretty good economic way to make your tax dollars go further.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing what the area around the Odd looks like in Utica. Or I guess or Adirondack Bank Center, whatever it is.
Yeah.
The ABC.
My thing would be, I mean, the alternative of that is them not doing it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like in a day and age where people value companies caring about their employees more than ever, I would say, like, that's a more driving factor for people staying with a company than it ever has been before.
Yeah, sure.
That's huge.
That makes sense.
Like,
like
we
huge.
just had last week we just had our company trip. Every summer our company rents pontoon boats and we go up in the Adirondacks on a lake, and we all go out and on these boats, and we park at a sandbar, and we all enjoy drinks and hang out, and then we're out there for the whole day, and then we take the boats back to a restaurant and we all eat and drink there, and then we drive them back, and then we go home for the day. But it's like, like we call it our skip day, you know, because if you don't go, you got to work kind of deal. But but it's to get everybody to get out together and not just be working. But
absolutely. Yeah. And then, you know, it's a symbiotic relationship. You guys get to enjoy a day and the company gets to write that stuff off.
Yeah.
Because they're giving back. That's ideally what taxes are about, is giving back. And that's the ideal situation.
Yeah.
Choosing where it goes. So.
Okay. Well, let's roll another number.
What was even this question? What was this question?
It was opportunities.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm asking, right? I completely lost track. Yes, you are. I should have been keeping a tally. Okay. I already rolled 397. Would you rather cook or eat at a restaurant?
I think my answer changes depending on scenario. If it is individually, like just me or me and a friend go, I would rather go out to eat. But if it's like a group of friends, I enjoy cooking for groups.
Okay. I can appreciate that.
Yeah. So like when me and you are hanging out, when you come back, like it's more convenient and a better use of time for us to just go grab something and talk while we eat. And like, but like when I was living with Dan, we would have 5 or 6 people over. And I would cook dinner for everyone. And like, that's super enjoyable. I enjoy cooking way more when it's for like a group of people. I get more value out of seeing somebody else enjoy what I make than I do myself.
Yep. I get that. I absolutely get that. At our weekly game night, like when Nicole and I can make a meal for other people to enjoy, it is extremely satisfying.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's good. Is there a restaurant that if someone says, if you have a meal all ready to go and someone brings up this restaurant, you will drop everything to go to it?
So like if I'm already prepared to cook, you mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it would probably there's probably 3. One out of the area. That's possibilities. If anybody wants to go there, I'm down to go. I will drop what I'm doing to go
What's
there.
that? Where's that?
In Syracuse. It is probably the most busy restaurant I've ever seen. If you're not there before, they open at 4 o'clock, and if you're not there at 3 waiting in line, you're not getting a table.
God damn.
They make all their pasta fresh every day. They make all their bread every day. They make everything fresh.
Okay.
It's just super good. They make this appetizer, a duck pizza, and it's like, I think it's just like cured duck, Gruyere cheese, balsamic glaze, and like arugula and onion, and it is so good. I get it every time I go there. And then they just have all different kinds of good pasta dishes. The desserts are amazing. Like just a really good spot.
Yeah.
I would.
Go
ahead.
I have been trying to go to this place right near me. It's like right down the road, basically, called Costanza's. It's a sausage place.
Okay.
They make all these like crazy sausages. You can search it. It's Costanza's Sausage, Webster, New York. The 2 times that I've been there, they open at noon. I got there at 1:15 once, and there was a 10-person line out the door.
Yeah.
I was like, damn. Well, okay, fine. It's 4th of July is coming up. Is people just stocking up? The last time I went there, I got there at 11:45, and by the time they opened, there was a line out the door. Like people went in, there was a line out the door. They have so many sausages that I like tried to text people and get them to tell me what they wanted for me to get.
Oh wow, they do have a bunch of different stuff. Oh, this sounds really good.
They have so many.
Oh, this Asiago chive the people that I asked, good.
I know. So the people that I asked were like, "There's too much, so you just pick." And I'm like, I don't want to pick from this many for other people, so I just left.
Okay, so let's mark this down. Next time I'm out there, we go there.
I don't think they're open on weekends though.
Okay, well, I will take a Thursday and a Friday off, and we go on a Thursday. We'll plan it.
I had last Thursday off.
Okay.
I have this Friday, Saturday coming up off.
I won't be able to take that too soon.
I know.
But we'll figure it out, and we'll go.
We didn't have anything to do, and my days off have been so busy that I was like, I just want to do nothing these days.
I feel that so much. Oh no, they're open Saturday. They're open Friday, Saturday. They're closed Sunday, Monday.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize they were open Saturday.
10 a.m. To 6 on Friday, 10 to 3 on Saturday.
Okay. Well, the next time you come out, whatever my next Friday, Saturday is, 6 weeks away from this week. If it works out that you can come out, then we'll go and grab some sausages for game night.
Yeah, that sounds good.
It'll be a good plan. It'll give people time to pick out what they want for me to get when we go there.
Yeah, that's good. I would say another restaurant that I would probably do just because I want to try it, but I've never gone and I can't justify ever going for myself is the Taylor and the Cook.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
I've heard nothing but good things about it. So
yeah, absolutely. All those like high end, whatever you want to call it, farm to table, it's really just a gourmet restaurant.
Yeah.
Justify it. Go once.
Well, I will. I'm just not going to go alone. I'll go with somebody when somebody wants to go.
we find it hard to justify anytime we have to pay more than $50 for a meal, right?
Oh, see, the money is not the thing. It's finding other people that want to spend the money for me. You know what I mean? Like,
and fuck that. Start doing stuff on your own. You can just do stuff.
Yeah, but I'm not going to that kind of restaurant to sit by myself. That's just boring.
We go to Texas de Brazil like once or twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
It's an expensive restaurant. It's $50 a plate, but you get a tasting menu. So it's all you can eat steakhouse sort of thing. They bring around skewers. But literally every time we go, we see someone just sitting alone and eating.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, I am like so envious of those people.
Oh, I'm not at all.
I don't know. I think starting to go to the movies alone, if I didn't have someone, I would. If Nicole disappeared tomorrow, I would start going to stuff on my own. I don't want to miss out on that stuff. It's not worth missing out on the stuff because you're self-conscious about being seen alone. Like,
it has nothing to do with being self-conscious, being seen alone. I don't want to sit at a restaurant and not have anybody to talk with.
You're gonna sit at home and not have anyone to talk with and just do your own shit. Probably gonna be on your phone. Got your phone at the restaurant.
No, I'll be in Discord talking to friends or going out doing something.
Get some headphones. Discord's on your phone.
Yeah, I don't know. That's not for me. That might be your thing to sit and eat alone, but
no, I get it. There's a big hurdle to get over to actually do that. But I gotta say, like, that sort of thing, going to restaurants, going and doing stuff alone, I think is
like I go and eat a lunch on my own all the time. Like I'll go places and sit, but I'm not going to a fancy restaurant to sit down and eat by myself. That takes away from the experience.
Sure. I mean, you're a Sigma male now, so just get used to yourself.
And then I would take on Cora as well. If I had something planned out, I would put that to the side if somebody wanted to go on Cora. Not super expensive.
Cora.
Great quality food. Yeah, we need to go there if you've never been.
No, I never heard of it.
It's very good on Genesee Street.
Okay.
Right near the Stanley.
Okay. My question? Your question? Your question.
Yes, my question to read you.
365.
Which year would you visit if you could travel back in time 1,000 years? Like up to 1,000 years, I guess. That's what it means.
I guess up to 1,000 years. Because if I could travel back in time 1,000 years, then I would visit 1022.
Right?
Oh my God. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
I don't know specific history well enough.
You know what it is? It's like we always say that. I mean, I guess there's easy answers. Be like, I don't know if you were close with a grandparent or not, or like any loved one that's passed. But like going back and being able to spend time with them is an easy answer. But why would anyone? We live in the best
Basically
time.
The best time.
The best time.
Yeah.
Like things are so easy now comparatively.
Yeah.
The more you go back, the worse it got. Why would I want to go back 1,000 years?
Yep.
Like people were living to,
I really don't know. Like
people were living to their late 40s, and that was considered good back then. I'm good on that.
The late 90s would not be a bad time to go back to. It was like incredibly low crime. Yeah. Incredible like technological developments.
Yeah.
Everything was kind of chill. And statistically, like I'm not just looking back on my memory of being 10 and being like, it was such a good time. It's not rose-colored glasses. Like statistically, things were just kind of good and chill and boring back then. And boring is good. I'd really like to go back.
I like boring.
Boring.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a Chinese proverb, Chinese proverbial insult. I hope you live in interesting times. And there's a reason that interesting times are used as an insult. So
yeah,
that's where I'm at these days.
All right, let's hit the next roll.
Okie dokie. We'll do, I guess, 2 more. 341.
341.
Oh, I got it right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, this is
okay.
Yeah, I read the last one.
Oh my God, I don't know what's going on. Where would you go if you could teleport yourself from one place to another?
Am I stuck there once I go?
I will
or do I
amend this. I will say, if you could set up 2 teleporters from one place to another, and you could teleport from that place to that place freely, indefinitely, where would you put those teleporters?
home, like here,
Yeah.
Australia.
Okay.
Like that. Australia is the number one place I want to visit before I die.
It's where you want to visit, but where would you want to go regularly?
Oh, I would want to be able to go there regularly.
Okay.
Dude, it's gorgeous there. There's so much.
Australia's a big place. Nail it down. Where in Australia?
Sydney, Melbourne, one of those.
Okay. The coast.
Yeah,
I guess
one on the coast.
That makes sense.
It's gorgeous, man. And like, I don't know. There's just so much beauty over there to see. It's just a different way of life.
Yeah.
I like minimalism, and there's a lot more of that over there.
Sure. Intentional minimalism, not just like
like
being
houses,
poor minimalism.
No, intentional minimalism. Like people are fine with living in like apartment-sized houses because that's all you really need. So it's like I like that.
I'm not trying to put a damper on your choice, but is Australia suffering from the same thing that New Zealand is, where housing prices are just going ridiculous? Like people are living in those areas because they literally have to?
No, not that I know of. Every time I've talked to my friend Kyle, he's always doing fine. And
you do have like first person contacts over there. Like, yeah, okay, I get that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Makes sense.
Just either that or like London. If I couldn't choose Australia, I would choose London.
Okay.
But again, that's specifically because I have friends and contacts over there, and like I would love to. I will end up going over there. Huh?
You could have picked like Ontario, New York.
Oh yeah, but you're only a 2-hour drive away. Like it's inconvenient, but it's not terrible.
That inconvenience could have gone away forever.
No, and here's my reason why I'll tell you. I moved 1 hour away from Matt, and I saw him infrequently. And I don't know if I moved closer to you, if it would change anymore, because we're just older and we're busy.
We're
like, you have stuff to do. You're married. Like,
yeah, well, we're considering if Nicole's parents move away, we're considering Elmira to move to. So like downstate. I don't know. We looked it up and we're like, where in New York gets the least amount of snow? Because I don't want to move south because the temperature gets too hot, and Nicole doesn't want to move north because of too much snow. So we got to strike a balance. Where in New York, where the temperature is fine, do we get the least amount of snow? It's basically Elmira. So I mean, it doesn't actually put us any closer to Utica.
I feel like that's a negligible amount less, though. It can't be that much less. I mean, I guess than Rochester, but like,
no, it's not. It's exactly the same amount of time.
No, I'm saying like the amount of snow.
Oh, yeah, no, it's significantly less.
I don't know. That seems crazy.
It is crazy. Like,
why? What's specific about them?
Middle New York. It's far enough away from the Great Lakes.
So then technically like
Rochester, Syracuse, Utica, Albany. These are in an area where if the wind is blowing east, then you get snow off of Lake Ontario. If the wind is blowing south, then you get snow off of Lake Erie, or vice versa, actually. Yeah. But either way, no matter which way the wind is blowing, because it's going to be blowing one of those directions in the winter, you're going to get snow. That's what makes basically like I-90 in New York the highest snow area in the United States. The top 4 of 5 cities that get the highest snowfall are in New York, and it is Syracuse, Buffalo, Rochester, Albany, in that order. So that is cities that make the population list. So Utica doesn't hit the population of that list, but that is where the highest snow in the country exists. Just south of that, Binghamton, Elmira, southern tier New York is just far away that you get the snow coming off of Lake Ontario, but you won't get the snow coming off of Lake Erie.
Damn, I guess you're right. That is crazy. I would not have thought it's like double.
Yeah.
Utica to Elmira.
Yep. By the way, the other one in that top 5 is St. Cloud, Minnesota.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
Just move to Binghamton at that point.
Elmira seems really nice, actually. And it's right near Watkins Glen. Like, it's a half an hour drive from Watkins Glen and a half an hour drive from Seneca Lake, which is our favorite Finger Lake. So it's really pretty much the ideal spot for us in New York. The negative to it that a friend at work told me is that there's 3 prisons. There's 2 super
maxes, yeah.
security prison, and there's one supermax.
Yeah.
Or there's 2 maximums. There's 1 supermax.
Yeah.
So like everybody around there is a correctional officer, and it was apparently like a housing program for mentally unstable people coming up from the city at some point. So like there's a high number of incarcerated population. There's a high like mentally unstable population.
Oh, that's refreshing
out there. But my wife and I can be recluses. So if the worst thing is the people, we're fine with that.
What if I just hire somebody to shovel for you? Will you come to Utica instead?
I like Utica. If it were up to me and me alone, we would move back to Utica, but it's not, and I don't want it to be.
No, I obviously it can't be. I'll just have to schmooze Nicole and be like, look how much closer you could be to me. You know you enjoy my company.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
No, I mean that's literally the same as where you are. I mean that's no different. So that would be a good move.
For her, it's about the snow, and I get that. So I don't want to.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense.
I don't want to make her move somewhere where there's no negligible or there's a negligible benefit.
Yeah,
the same way that she doesn't want to make me move to the heat where I'm just going to be miserable constantly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah. Okay. I asked a question. Okay. We're going to do 2 more.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Lightning rounds. We keep these to like under 5 sentences. No discussion.
Okay.
Asked and answered.
Okay.
You are asking 210. Where are we here?
210. Okay.
210.
What is the strangest thing your teacher has ever done?
In 6th grade, Miss Paquin threw a meter stick at Adam.
Probably for smiling or something.
I don't know. He was just like not paying attention or something. So she threw the meter. She didn't throw it at him. She threw it in the aisle of the desks next to him.
Yeah.
But still, she threw it.
That's funny.
Which was funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And I have 65. Have you ever been caught staring at the opposite gender?
Not unintentionally.
Oh.
Like,
okay.
Like jokingly, yes. Like
so you're sitting there putting out the vibe.
Yeah, either to not really to random people, but to like friends of the opposite gender. I'll just stare across the room making a funny face, you know what I mean, until they like happen to lock eyes with you and because they realize you're making a funny face at them.
Yep.
But yeah, I've definitely done that. No.
And then you just give them a hang 10.
Yeah. But no, not a stranger of the opposite gender. No.
All right.
That's creepy.
Cool. A little. I mean, if you're trying to put out the vibe and you get seen.
You were trying to put out the vibe, go talk.
I haven't dated very much, so I'm not the authority in this area. Josh, what's your word this week?
Oh, we're going right into mine now, huh?
Yeah, that's what it is. I've done my time.
Oh.
You can do the crime.
So, that's kind of fitting. My word this week is opium.
I've been watching Ozark again lately.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I haven't watched the newest season.
I haven't either. I don't remember what happened in the previous seasons, so I started rewatching it, and opium reminded me of it because of the poppy farmers in the first season.
That's obviously what it made me think of was poppies, opium, heroin, that kind of stuff.
The word opium made you think of opium?
Yeah. Made me think of drugs. And I kind of just wanted to have an open discussion about marijuana and the way things are going in the United States. They seem to be, we're legalizing it recreationally and medically in a lot more states. And just kind of our thoughts or opinions on the way it's headed.
Yeah? Where are we starting?
I guess I was trying to think of can you think of 5 pros and 5 cons?
That's so many.
Okay, well, can you think of 3 pros and 3 cons of making recreational marijuana legal? Because I'll just start by saying I'm of the mindset now that there's no reason it's not federally legalized.
Right.
If people can get hammered drinking there's no reason somebody shouldn't be able to smoke a plant in the comfort of their own home. You know, it's not what they made it out to be our entire life.
No. You know, I don't know. I guess to get just barely political, the whole war on drugs was about like marijuana was hemp before they rebranded it to marijuana to make it seem more Hispanic, so that J. Edgar Hoover could crack down on
immigration
Mexican populations.
Yep. Yeah.
So yeah,
what's crazy is that
fucked where it started.
It also like it's considered like the devil in Mexico. Like I watched.
Oh really?
Yeah, I watched a guy named Hector Rodriguez. He's the owner of Optic Gaming, or one of them at this point. And was born in Texas but lived in Juarez, Mexico, until a certain point in his life before moving to Chicago with his family. But like growing up, he said it was considered the devil. Like if somebody was, I don't know if it was people thought obviously you're associated with the cartels or what, but it was like
that makes sense.
Crazy. So like just as much as it was considered to be bad and associated with them, it was almost like they associated it with them, but with the cartel. So
yeah,
you know, like he said, it was parents would get crazy mad if they ever found out anybody was smoking marijuana, because it was like, that's your link to the cartel. You're going down the wrong path, kid. Kind of deal.
Yeah, this makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Pros and cons. I feel like the obvious pro is tax revenue, right?
Yeah. So we're gonna have the same first one.
Yeah,
it's crazy. So I kind of brought these up and asked you first in this orders because I figured you would stumble our way into talking about them. So I pulled up some numbers
from Colorado.
Nope, from the legal states. This is from 2020.
Oh, all of the legal states, not just Colorado.
Correct. And the legal states that we're selling recreational and or medical, the lowest amount of taxes collected in the year of 2020 is the state of Maine with 1.5 million.
Yeah.
Colorado sits at number 387 million.
Yeah, man, that's the significant amount. Like
the number one, California.
Oh yeah,
$1,031,879,926.
Yeah.
$1 billion of tax revenue generated by that. And
oh yeah,
so it goes into talk about California actually surprisingly isn't listed on this. So I don't know if theirs doesn't have a good reasoning for what they do with their money, but most of the states actually have a pretty good investment structure for the revenue. So like Colorado, 13% of marijuana revenue goes towards state funding public schools. So it's only 13%, but 13% of 387 million is still a lot of money getting pumped into the school systems.
Yeah. Colorado was the first state to legalize it recreationally.
Yeah.
And they're the state that I always keep in my mind when people start talking about this, because they were able to entirely overhaul their public education system. Like new computers, every kid has a laptop or something. It's probably not exactly true, but like an entire technological overhaul of their entire education system, which is incredible and makes total sense.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. So Oregon, their tax.
Who's number two then?
Washington, 468 million. So Oregon tax structure benefits mental health and drug abuse services. County and local law enforcement and state police are all funded by marijuana tax revenue.
Yeah.
Nevada's emergency savings, schools, and local governments are all funded by that.
Mm-hmm.
Massachusetts structure includes a local option tax for cities and towns where they can tax dispensaries up to 3% on top of it. So that allows on the local level for them to make more, not just on state, which is nice. And then in Alaska is split between the state general fund and program to provide drug treatment and prevent mental health problems.
Yeah.
So like
that's big.
Yeah.
The whole flipping it on its head and using the revenue to treat other more serious drug addictions is like the most beautiful reversal that I've ever seen. Because for years, marijuana was the gateway drug.
Yeah.
And I've put a lot of thought into this. Like, I'm not an economist or a law major or anything like that. But marijuana currently is the same schedule as heroin and LSD.
Yeah, just crazy.
Now, one of these things is not like the other. To be fair, heroin is not like the other because heroin is extremely addictive.
Yep.
LSD and marijuana are not physically addictive. They have behavioral addictions associated with them.
Yep.
But if you're looking at the law and you're smoking marijuana and you see like, this isn't really doing all that much that's bad to me, but the government says it's really bad. What else is equally as bad? Heroin. Then you can justify like the jump from marijuana to heroin. The governmental definition of it made it a gateway drug, not the fact that it would just lead into other drugs.
I just think the fact that I think they just miss the fucking the target when they're thinking about like, I mean, they were jumping to the fact that they think, well, people go to get marijuana, the drug dealer also has heroin. Generally, that's most of the time not the case. Like people that are dealing pot don't want to deal with cocaine, heroin, LSD, and all different kinds of narcotics, pills and stuff. They do. Most of the time, people that are selling marijuana, at least on the level where they're selling it to the end user, most of the time they're doing it to make enough money to where they can smoke themselves.
These days and in our area are the caveats that I would add to that.
Yeah, that's true.
We don't know what it used to be like, and we don't know what it's like in cities, like big cities. So in our experience, that's absolutely how it is. Like our high school drug dealers were selling pot to smoke pot.
Yeah, I mean, I have experiences in the down south, but it was also, 2014 forward. But,
right.
I mean, it was even the same down there.
Well, yeah, that is probably more indicative because that was after the writing was on the wall that marijuana is going to get legalized.
Oh yeah, it was already legal. It was already legalized in 2 places at that point.
Yep. The writing's on the wall. It's going to happen. I've seen people have the commentary that it's the only thing that has ever been like where people have been like, hey, we want to do this thing. And the government's like, no. And eventually is like, I guess you can.
Right. Well, and it's crazy because I feel like it's the one thing where like you're getting common thought process from both sides. Both political parties can come to terms with the positives of doing it.
Both political parties, I don't know. Both political affiliations of people, not parties.
Yeah.
The parties are not like the leadership. Mitch McConnell is on the record as saying the only thing bad about the KKK is that they smoke marijuana. So it's not the parties that are on board with this. It is the people who have these political ideologies.
Yes, correct.
So maybe not Mitch McConnell. Maybe, I don't know. Some
people that matter,
a high up Republican person, an official, an actual like party official, But I mean, people are people.
Well, I mean, I think you're getting to the point where like the red states can't ignore because that's generally the thing, like that people say, like the red side Republicans care more about money than people. It's kind of the general thing, and it's to the point now where like they can't deny the money.
Yeah, how could you ignore
Texas
the money?
Is in the process of, I was reading about it, in the process of having it to where they can import from I think Kentucky. I think is that the hold on, let me look.
I don't know. Kentucky is Mitch McConnell's state, so
Kentucky's already legal. So
is it?
I believe so. Is it Kentucky? Maybe I'm wrong. Give me a second. Oklahoma. Not Kentucky.
Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense.
They're going to import from Oklahoma.
Okay.
So that way they don't have to deal with it being made and processed there, but they can exercise an excise tax for importing it.
Okay.
And then still have control. So kind of like how most southern states have like ABC stores, you'd have state controlled dispensaries where they just import from Oklahoma, which like one is, I guess it's not ideal because you're not creating really more jobs. I mean, you are, I guess, for the stores, but you're not creating it on like the industrial level where people are growing it and harvesting it and packaging it and all that kind of stuff. But at the store level, you would be. But I mean, Texas is pretty much as red as it comes, and they're they're I guess in the process of talking about that because you just can't deny the amount of
Texas is weird these days because like 50% of Texas is in the cities.
Yeah.
And the cities are blue.
Yeah.
But the rest of the state is red. So like it's really a coin toss. And then with whatever you want to call it, gerrymandering, like it's heavily red. So
yeah.
But one way or the other, like Texas may have missed the boat. They're a sunny state.
Yeah.
They could have established so many greenhouses. They could have been the California. What California is to vegetable farming, Texas could have been to marijuana if they had legalized it sooner and established actual governmental programs that incentivized it.
Yeah.
They could have made so much money.
Now it's just Oregon.
Yeah,
Oregon is the big boy on the block on that end.
They were the second, right? It was Colorado, then Oregon.
Colorado, and then Washington.
Legalize Washington.
Yeah.
Man, I always forget about what I always just think of Oregon and Washington as the same state. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. No, I know exactly what you're saying. I mean, but it's just. Yeah, but that's where all like the high end stuff is coming from, and like there's way more manufacturing stuff because there's way less tax.
Mm-hmm.
So like people will produce everything in Oregon because it's way cheaper to produce there and then ship it in.
Because they don't have to pay the taxes on the production. You have to pay the taxes on the sale.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're shipping it out, then you're good. You're golden.
Yeah, I just think it's kind of cool how we're seeing this huge shift, because I mean, I can even remember like myself growing up. I had it in my brain growing up, like I mean, I legitimately stopped hanging out with one of my best friends because he started smoking marijuana. Granted, I was like 14, but like in my mind at that point, he was a scumbag. I'm like, but I was 14, I didn't know any better, and like that's how it was perceived.
Yep. Now I'm gonna ask you off mic who that was.
Oh, I don't care. I'll tell you it was DJ.
Oh,
I haven't talked to him in forever, but yeah, that's legitimately why I stopped.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it just created.
I don't think I knew that.
I mean, it wasn't like this is a strict reason. It was more like he started doing it. When you start falling into that, you start hanging out with different people, that kind of thing. That's legitimate. You know, it was kind of like I still talked to him and stuff. I wasn't like we were just like instant disconnect. But I mean, we were neighbors. We lived right next to each other. But it caused the divide, and it was because of that. I mean,
it makes sense.
But like,
makes sense.
I was also 14 and impressionable, and at that point in my life, I had no interest in that or alcohol or anything. No, I was.
You saw that the Truth dog commercial.
Yeah.
and you were like, damn, bro, I can't be like that.
Nah, the dare stuff really got me.
Dare to keep a kid off drugs.
Yep.
Dare to. Why don't I remember the song? I really want to remember the song.
I don't. I just remember the red letters or whatever it was on the periods in between. But I don't know. I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Dare shirts have become very fashionable.
Oh, 100%. It's crazy how that switched. You know, from like in 2004 that would have been I was 14. So I mean in that little amount of time we've gone like complete opposite. Or like obviously they're not out here telling people to go smoke marijuana, but it's not the devil anymore. You know.
I know. That's important. Honestly, just the stigma has been pretty brutal.
I mean, and that's, I guess the older I got, the more I realized like I can go to a bar and drink as much as I want, and I can get in my car and I can drive home. That's my choice. It's a dumb choice, but it's my choice. Sure. And I can choose to make that. Now, I will never do that because I'm not an idiot, but it's available to me. But at the time, like you couldn't just smoke up the joint. Like people, there's a bunch of studies going on, and obviously I don't condone driving on anything because you don't need to. Like there's just no need for it. Just stay home or stay wherever you're at. But they did this one study, and 50% of the time the people that were smoking marijuana and driving were more cautious because of perceived impairedness.
Yeah.
Like they thought they were too high to drive, so they were driving slow, turning their turn signal on early, like hyper aware of everything because they don't want to get caught.
Yeah, that's the joke, right? Like, who does this joke that when you're drunk you'll run a stop sign, but the worst thing that you do when you're high is wait for a pine cone to cross the road?
Yeah, I mean,
like,
it's just funny to me.
I don't know if you know, this is one of my favorite commercials that's ever aired. Okay. If you go ahead and take a look in Discord, click on that one.
Okay.
I love this commercial. Just let me know when you start it, and I'll start it so that the people can hear at least the audio. Okay. There's nothing. There's no voices.
I'm starting it now.
You disappoint me.
The best thing is I can only imagine how funny this would be if you were high when you watched it.
If you were yes. It is absolutely the funniest shit you can watch if you're high.
Even more funny if you're stoned when you watch it.
I feel like I relate to a lot of like the high humor, right?
Yeah.
It's so fucking funny to me. Like, a lot of the high humor is just like absurdist bullshit.
Yeah.
And I love absurdist bullshit all the time.
Oh, high humor it's so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some of the stone themes and things.
That commercial is so funny. It's my favorite commercial that's ever aired.
I don't know that would be a good topic, a good discussion one day.
What's your favorite commercial?
Favorite commercials of all time. I feel like that could be a really fun episode, but it would have to be like a YouTube.
What is the one that hold on? The other day, okay, which text thread is it in? It's got to be in the Nicole and Sky one. Oh no. Is it okay? Someone sends the text like that Skittles have been found to show a carcinogen or something, right?
Yeah.
So I share the Skittles pox commercial. It's like so funny.
Oh, yeah.
Is that Skittles pox commercial? It's so funny.
Oh, hold on, I want to show you. Let me find this one Skittles commercial and see if I can find it for you. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was a fake Skittles commercial.
Yeah. But, oh yeah, your precious Skittles are poison. My doctor says I have Skittles pox.
This one always comes to mind anytime I see Skittles.
Is it contagious? I don't think so. Oh. Okay, am I still okay? Let's see.
Is it cold in here? No, it's hot.
Hey.
Sugar daddy.
Hopefully you're not playing this podcast out loud.
Get ready for my sweetness.
This can't be real.
It's about to come.
Oh no, it's definitely fake.
Turn around.
But it's fantastic. I will link both videos in the
Taste the rainbow.
No, my sweet Jesus.
I will link both of them in the description because it was too good. I remember seeing it for the first time on like a meme thing and I pissed myself. The best part is like the guy looks like he's straight out of Napoleon Dynamite.
Yes, he is Kip.
Yep. Like he just walked out like he could have walked right off the set and into that.
Oh yeah. Oh boy.
Okay, so back onto the topic.
Now we're on with Skittles commercials.
I think one that goes overlooked as a pro is regulation for consumer safety. Like right now, people just buy their pot or marijuana or weed, whatever you want to call it, from wherever they can find it, and they don't know what it is. They don't know where it was grown. You can't really
what it's laced with.
Yeah, what it's laced with. You don't know if it's covered with mold or fungus or if it has pesticides in it or other harmful chemicals. You don't really know what you're getting. I mean, they literally could give you a hemp plant, lace it with something and sell it to you, and you still get some kind of high from it and think that you're smoking weed, but it's not.
Yep. Like, well, this is the sort of positive effect that like angel programs have sought to solve, right? Like if you're a heroin addict, it is much worse to be a heroin addict who is trying to hide it and just getting your needles from wherever.
Yeah.
Versus at least getting clean needles.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's never good for you, but using sketchy needles is the worst for you.
Yeah. Oh, it's worse for everybody because it's like, God forbid you get something and then you pass it to somebody like that has nothing to do with you. You just like happen to cut yourself or on a broken needle or something when you're walking somewhere.
Yeah.
And you end up with HIV or Hep C or anything like that.
And obviously it's not quite as extreme. Like it might be as extreme, but it's essentially the same thing with marijuana. You would much rather go to some place that grows it locally, that you know what they're doing, than some place that, you know, brings it across the Canadian border and it's been flown up from Mexico and it passed through this cartel's hand and who knows what happens along the way in order to get it to you.
Yeah.
Because you can't keep track. But
100%.
Yeah, if regulation means that you keep track of it from cradle to grave, then you're good.
So I thought this
more or less
statistic was kind of crazy to read. So in a national poll conducted in 2019, 72% of people surveyed believe that regular use of alcohol was more dangerous to the person and to society than marijuana use.
Yeah.
So like right there, I mean, that is a huge percentage that shows that like we know that the things that we already have that are legal for people to do are more dangerous.
This is a survey.
Yeah.
Who conducted the survey?
Let me see. It's got
I always like asking and looking at
that. Marist poll. Yahoo.
Marist.
Yeah.
Okay. Marist is just a polling company like Gallup.
Yeah. That's where most of the polls end up going through.
Yeah, it is. But it's always interesting when like an academic like I was gonna say an academic academy, but that's not an academic institution. Or like it's really interesting when political think tanks put out these surveys so that you can see the bias in them.
Yeah, it was funny. So we used to, when I worked in the electronic cigarette industry, when I was in North Carolina, they had people that would come in every month that worked for mayors that were doing polls, and they were being paid by RJ Reynolds, or so we would assume.
Sure.
Because that would make the most sense. I mean, we were in literally the same city as them, and it would always be somebody coming in, and he would ask about numbers and average sales and average customer, return rate, that kind of stuff. And like, they know how to get you because he'd come in and be like, I'll give you $50 if you take this survey. I'm like, okay, gross. That's wonderful, because I would just take it and then tell him numbers that were completely off.
Yeah.
I'm like,
you're the smart one.
Yeah. Like, I'm not going to turn down your $50, and it's not his $50. So I don't feel bad.
Yeah. Right.
But it's like, you don't need to know my numbers. Like, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to, they're literally polling to see how big is this war we're about to fight, and do we just buy it?
Yep.
So it's like, not gonna tell them the exact numbers, because I mean, that would have been substantially more than what I told them.
I'm a little fuzzy, honestly. At this point, I need clarification. RJ Reynolds is a tobacco company, yeah?
Correct. Yeah, they do. Okay. Marlboro.
Well, you were in Winston-Salem. Are they not doing Winston?
They do Winston, but they do a bunch of other.
Okay.
What we make. Hold on. They have Newport, Camel.
Yeah,
Pall Mall. Yeah. No, Newport and Camel are their two big ones, and then obviously Winston's. So I mean, we are right in the heart of tobacco country, so it's not surprising.
Oh yeah.
But I think that was funny doing that. And I think another pro too is the amount of jobs that it's going to create. Sure. Like, when obviously within Texas's line of thinking, I don't think it's as beneficial. But when you allow, so like Massachusetts, say for example, everything that's sold marijuana wise in Massachusetts has to be produced in the state. There's no import. So you have everything from like literally the ground level up infrastructure filling jobs. So it's like it's a whole new industry that has to be outfitted with workers that just wasn't there.
And it's a
very lucrative
persistent industry.
Persistent and lucrative. So it's like,
well, I've recently started to criticize this whole like it brings jobs to the area type arguments for and against things, right? Because yeah, sometimes it brings jobs to the area, but those could just be construction jobs, and once the construction's done, those jobs are gone.
Yeah, I guess it depends on what the business is.
No, I know, but like this particular business brings jobs and brings persistent jobs, because
sustainable
you need
ones.
A farmer, a highly skilled farmer, not just a field hand. You need a biologist,
a botanist. I mean, you're literally getting
botanist,
full-on botanist. You're getting people that have years of experience,
and these are highly skilled fields. Like botany is an emerging college career path.
Yeah,
like these are highly skilled people that are going to come out and be in your area and make the money and pay the taxes, and it's a no-brainer. But how about cons? We've been on all positives. Can't be all positives, right?
No, I mean, I'm sure there's some negatives.
You're sure?
I'm trying to think.
I know that in Canada, when it was legalized, the first person got pulled over for high driving 20 minutes after it was legalized.
Yeah. I don't know.
So that's what I'll say. I will say it gives governmental agencies, cops, more excuse to pull people over. They can just say you're erratic in this way or the other.
I feel like they could do it before, though.
Yeah, but
because that same person
all these
didn't
slow
just
people
start doing it.
Yeah, but they could just say that, oh well, it's more prevalent now.
Yeah.
So I have more reason to pull you over. It's plausible deniability, right? They've lost just a little bit of plausible deniability.
Yeah.
It's not going to be huge. I'm not trying to say like they're going to start abusing this particular thing, but
no, and if anything, it gives them more
potential negative.
Yeah, but on the flip side too, now that they're with it legalized, they no longer have to do all the paperwork and everything tied to incarcerating people for marijuana.
Yeah,
which is
ideally it would free up that budget that they've wasted doing that stuff.
Yeah, which is huge. I mean, people don't think about it. I wish I could find it, but I believe I read it in this article that I found, but I can't find the exact thing. But it was something like, I don't know, $1.3 billion a year across the country spent in like taxpayer money to handle all the things from like point A to point B with incarceration on people with marijuana. Whether it be like, I mean, I'm assuming they're including everything, like paying the officer at the time of the thing, paying the people at the. I'm sure the numbers are fudged, obviously, because they're probably counting. Oh, we have to have.
Is that a lot of money?
I mean, it's a lot of money to just have back.
I mean, our GDP is 21 trillion.
Oh yeah.
1.2 billion is barely a drop in the bucket.
It may be a drop in the bucket when you're trying to correct that, but it's not a drop in the bucket when it's easily reversible. I mean, 1.2 billion is 1.2 billion.
Yeah,
you know,
I guess so.
Split it up 50 ways or 51 ways or however split it up between all the states. How much more money can go towards? How many more million can be put towards funding schools or funding better police training or all these things that we need? Like, yes, it's not a huge amount. It's not gonna fix things overnight, but that's more money in a budget for things that we could really use.
Yeah. No, I that's a good point. Like the way that Colorado did it, I think makes me hopeful.
Yeah.
Take this stuff, the money savings from prosecuting this stuff, the tax revenue based on it, reinvest it in education. And to what you're saying, if you take 1.2 billion and divide it up 50 ways, let's just do some quick math. I mean, it's not like gonna be perfect, but let's see. That's 1.2 billion. Divide it 50 ways. $24 million. I feel like that's not that much even in the smallest state's budget. But
I mean, $24 million into initiate a training program in a state, I feel like that's doable.
I don't know.
Well, I'm saying is
numbers are so big these days. But
an extra 24 million can't hurt. Is that what I'm saying?
It's not going to hurt. I'm skeptical about how much it helps, but you're right. It won't hurt.
Yeah. It can't have. I wouldn't think it could have a negative impact.
Yeah, certainly not. Certainly not.
That is, unless it went to pay increases for the higher up people.
Huh.
Then it could have a negative impact.
I feel like this. The only way that it makes sense is if this money is earmarked to go to specific programs.
Yeah.
Like,
or
it would have to
go for police training, or add 24 million into either for police training or for prevention of use of other drugs.
Yep.
Use that to fund the clean needles for people that are doing, like, yes, it is a small amount on the grand scheme of thing, but you could do a lot with it still. Versus you could get a lot more value for that small amount of money than we're getting putting people behind bars for weed.
I absolutely agree.
So,
yeah, and what you're saying, like, police training would be massive. That would, no matter what, be massive toward police training. Even in New York with so much law enforcement, 24 million would go a long way to providing.
I mean, because here's the thing, like, you might not be able to fund a statewide increase of pay for people, but you're telling me for 24 million, you couldn't incite a week-long training program for the police force in New York State? You have to be able to, or at least close. It can at least be the tipping point for where, okay, it makes sense for us to invest the other money with it to do it.
Yeah.
So I only see that being
if you
possible benefit.
You know what? I just looked it up because I wanted to see what sort of numbers we're talking about. I don't know if it's the smallest GDP in the nation, but Rhode Island has a GDP of $66 billion, right?
Yeah.
24 million toward that is not like a huge amount, but it isn't nothing. It's more than is it more than 1%? It's not quite 1%.
But what is so on the same aspect, police budget? I'll be able to find this or not.
Hopefully you would be able to.
Okay.
I feel it would be hard.
The police department
everything in government's so hard.
Okay. This is law enforcement budgets are largely made up of personal related costs, including police department roughly spends $85.6 million operating budget on salaries, pensions, health benefits, trainings, and other things. So 24 million is a pretty good chunk of 85 billion.
That's what they spend.
I know. That's what I'm saying. So you can have another 24 on top of that.
How much do they take in, though?
I don't know.
It's not apples to apples, but I know that police departments receive somewhere in the neighborhood of $8 to $9 billion worth of Army surplus goods every year, but that's across the nation. So I don't know what that works out to.
I'm trying to see if I can find it.
It's probably not important.
No, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's not. I mean, we're just trying. We're just trying at this point. We're just trying to find facts to back up what I'm saying.
We're nitpicking. $24 could go a long way someplace. No, 24 million could be very useful in places. It's just hard because you would have to identify where that is going to be most useful. And then it's all politics.
Yeah, I think the big negatives or cons aren't ones that are inherently, well, one of them inherently happens right away. The other one might not, but the first one is obviously you're inhaling something you shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Unless you're eating an edible, which in that case, it's still something foreign. Still can't be great for your liver, right? Because I think your liver breaks that down.
To be fair, I don't even know if that's the case. There's two places in nature that cannabinoids are found. One is in hemp or marijuana, that family of plant. The other is in the human body. Mm-hmm. We produce it naturally.
Yeah, that's why we have an endocannabinoid system.
Yeah, so we produce it and we regulate it naturally in our own body. So I don't know if having excess is inherently harmful.
I don't think it is, and I think that's why they're realizing that it has more medical benefits.
Yeah.
I mean, we have.
It's hard because I was talking to my brother-in-law about this the other day. He was like, I don't know why I've been seeing like a lot of studies about marijuana and LSD coming out lately. I had to educate him and be like, it's because 3, 4, 5 years ago, the FDA rescinded their ban on studying these things.
Yeah.
There was a ban on studying these things. You couldn't publish studies about marijuana and LSD usage until a few years ago. Studies are just starting to come out now. And there's a lot of stuff that we've been told over the years that
isn't true.
It's going to end up being not true.
Yeah.
And I don't know if having excess cannabinoids in your system is bad, because there hasn't been study on it.
Yeah. I think
at least not ones that I've seen.
The other one that I can think of that's, like I said, not inherent but could happen, is basically the formation of big marijuana. So if we see the same problems, which I don't think we necessarily will, because I feel like we're more self-aware now as a society. But like obviously them exploiting children, like exploiting people for profit and targeting children with that stuff could be a problem. I feel like we've learned from tobacco and alcohol where that's going to be more of a, and I think people in general like go into these places and so much more of it is not targeted at children. Like the package, like, they're not really, that's not their goal. Like children don't have $30 to spend on a joint or $80 to spend on an eighth of weed or however much that gets you. I don't really know, but like they don't have that kind of money.
I don't want to say ignoring, looking past the marketing to children aspect of it, which could be argued. My friend's guy had some, I think, gummies. They were basically like branded like Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah.
And that's not ideal to brand stuff as candy.
It's true. I can go with that.
It's arguably marketing to kids, but kids aren't going to be in these stores ideally. So
and I mean,
they're not doing.
That also leads into this thing where like then we're limiting a consumer good to a specific age group. Like I buy Sour Patch Kids. I'm not a kid.
Yeah, I know. And I like I said, ideally they're not going out and spending like billboard dollars putting Stoner Patch gummies.
I don't think there needs to be marketing,
but
necessarily for it. I think that there can be branding, but in a way like, so say for example, same guy Hector, he started his own marijuana company called Pine Park, and it's reminiscent of his first time smoking weed. That's where the name comes from, and it was just him and his friends in a park. Okay. It's surrounded by a bunch of pine trees, and that's where he came up with the name. And none of it has to do, like the packaging, nothing looks like anything to do with kids. Cool. So like having people like that jumping into the industry and realizing like they're creating
be responsible.
Well, but they're creating a culture. It's not that you don't, when you can create a culture and people are behind you, you don't need the gimmicks of, oh, this is fun and flashy and whatever. Like when people feel a part of something, they just want to support. You don't need as much flash bang in the pan to get people to buy your product.
Yeah.
And they do that with other content.
Right now, though, it's an early market. We have to see how it goes, because so much stuff these days just ends up being in markets that are consolidated. And once a market is consolidated, that's when you have to start worrying. So right now, these are local businesses. This is a grassroots sort of endeavor right now. We have to watch out for the companies that start buying this shit up.
Yeah. Well,
that's when we're going to have to start worrying about it. Right now, it's golden days.
So I read somewhere where, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I read on some article that somebody had linked on Twitter that the people that own Miracle Grow are trying to get into that industry.
Monsanto?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah. Well, apparently, like the son is getting to the age where
that sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks. That like generational billionaire money fucking sucks ass.
Yeah.
Like the Koch sons are just garbage human beings because they just don't understand the value of a dollar. The same way that like kids who are poor, who have never had money, don't understand the value of a dollar. These billionaire kids don't understand the value of a dollar.
Yeah.
And they fucking suck. And I can't imagine that Monsanto kids are going to be any better And if they start buying up this fucking industry and consolidating it under a single banner, and then they're going to go wild doing the shit that their parents' friends, fucking Philip Morris and RJ Reynolds did, consolidating their markets, pulling all sorts of bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to it, but hopefully people.
So I guess it's speculation at this point.
I know it is.
They bought 156 acre of agricultural land in a valley in Tucson, Arizona.
God, Monsanto fucking sucks so bad.
Yeah, it's the Avra plantation in Tucson, Arizona. They bought that, and people are thinking that they're...
a bit of a side note, but on Monsanto line of discussion, apparently, like, in the current farming environment that we're in right now, which is basically monocropping.
Yeah.
You treat the soil with a chemical that will make it ideal for you to plant this one particular crop. And you plant that, and the crop depletes it, and then the next year you treat it again. Apparently, using that system, we only have something like 30 harvests left in like the soil in the United States.
Yeah, that's what they're worried about. This is that. So apparently, Monsanto and Bayer are like fighting over this property. Apparently.
Oh God!
And it looks like people are worried that they're interested in creating GMO marijuana.
Yep. They're gonna monocrop it.
Yep.
Like what we learned in school, the whole crop rotation thing where you have 4 fields, you rotate your crops so that it replenishes the soil. That shit doesn't exist anymore. I live near some fucking soybean farms, and it's all they grow. Every year, it's all they grow. Just hundreds and hundreds and thousands of acres of soybeans.
Let me see here.
And that's Monsanto. That's Monsanto's legacy.
I'm trying to look and see this guy.
Factory farming and that sort of shit, these companies, Bayer and Monsanto and whoever else is engaged in this stuff, these are maybe more harmful to this country than maybe anything else because they're invisible. They're completely invisible.
Yep.
And they get a huge amount of tax dollars. People want to talk about tax waste all the time, and they completely ignore these factory farm monocropping industries. And that's dangerous. That's where most of our tax money goes, is to factory farms and corporate welfare. And people want to bicker about personal welfare and healthcare. And it's like, I don't know.
So apparently, from what I was reading, I found the article.
Okay.
Monsanto has an intimate business relationship with Scotts Miracle-Gro, manufacturers of Roundup and Scotts, has looked to capitalize on the expanding pot industry in states where the plant is legalized or been decriminalized. The company's CEO, Jim Hagedorn, has stated his intentions to spend up to $500 million to buy out the marijuana industry.
Oh my God, this is bad. That's bad.
Yeah.
That's going to be bad if it happens.
Well, and here's the only thing that I think we have going for us. The people that are at the forefront of this industry let's be honest. Everybody's in it for the money, but they're not in it for the money. These people have been doing it for 20 or 30 years in their backyard or their basement because they love it.
Yeah. Currently, it's enthusiasts. Hopefully, it stays that way.
And I think that there's enough people that understand that. I don't know if they might, obviously they probably are going to have to compete with them, but I don't think that most of these people that are in these things are going to be bought.
We thought that about mom and pop shops, and Walmart still dominated.
Yeah, but that's not, I don't know. That's not the same kind of culture.
No, it is the same kind of culture. People were all about mom and pop shops. People have forgotten about this. When Walmart moves into areas, people raise this big hullabaloo about mom and pop shops and how destructive Walmart and big box stores are to local cultures. And then everybody starts going there, and the small people can't compete anymore. And how many local grocery stores can you think of these days? You can think of in any market, in any like major market, like the greater whatever area, you can maybe think of 2 or 3, right? In Utica, you got Shenatries. You got that.
Yeah, Price
little
Chopper.
market down in Frankfurt. Price Chopper is not a small player.
I mean, in the grand
they were
scheme of
big enough
things,
to avoid it. I don't know. There's so few stores and mom and pop shops that are able to compete with these big box stores.
Well, yeah, because there's no connection
not the social
to that
will.
brand.
Yeah, but there's not the social will to avoid it.
No.
People can save $1 going to Walmart, so they go to Walmart.
I don't think it's the dollar. It's the convenience that drives people.
I guess
the dollar savings doesn't mean that much to people, at least not most. It's the fact that they have everything. I don't think it's the cost difference.
Maybe.
It's the fact that they can go the one-stop shop. And be honest with you, the big thing now that's driving people there, you can order your shit on. They're open. You can order your shit online and go pick it up.
Yeah.
Like,
you know what? That fucking grinds my gears. Something that makes me angry is like hobbyist shops, specialty shops, clothing shops, whatever, local shops that are only open during quote unquote regular business hours.
Yeah. It makes no sense.
Who are you?
How are your customers supposed to come there? Yeah, exactly.
Like if the hardwood supplier that I have to go to is only open 9 to 5 and probably 10 to 4.
Yeah.
Like, how am I supposed to go there? You want to engage the people who can afford to go there? Then stay open for the people who work.
What's the same thing could be said, like, okay, everybody has to deal with a bank. Why the fuck are the banks only open when people are working?
On Thursday, they're open till 7.
So
everybody has to go then.
Not my bank. And like most banks are only open till like noon or 2 o'clock on Saturday.
So dumb.
Well, and it's even this, which this one hits to you. Okay, so I know you work a full day on Saturday a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
The post office closes at 2:30.
Ours closes at like noon.
Yeah, I know.
Why? If the mail people have to work to deliver the mail till 5 or 6.
The clerks don't have to. The clerks go home and come back. So there isn't somebody at the office.
Okay, so for example, our area has a ton of PO boxes.
Yeah.
I feel like that should be open longer hours. If a huge portion of the population relies on going into that place to
PO boxes are open.
No, ours are inside.
Yeah, but
it's locked.
You can get in.
I can't get in. I wasn't able to, at least the last time I tried, because I didn't know they closed at 12 or 12:30 or whatever it was.
I believe, at least, my post office, or at the very least, the post office that I used to work at, had a lobby where they would close off the PO box section, so you couldn't get to like the counters, but you could get to the self-service machine and you could get to the PO boxes.
No, I mean, ours off hours. Small little dinky thing. No, there's like, it's all one room. Like our post office, you walk in, the counter's directly to the left, and you walk straight through. There's just one big rectangular room full of PO boxes.
I think that's out of the ordinary.
Yeah,
honestly, like
could be. It's the first time I've encountered it.
Even my post office that's old. I know we have 4 doors coming in. We have the main door, and then that splits off into 2. One door goes off to the PO box area. The other door goes over to the counter, the service counter.
Yeah.
And then there's another door that connects the PO box area to the service counter. So it's like a little circle with a wall in the middle that allows people to access the PO boxes even when the counter's closed.
Yeah. I mean, we still could, and maybe I just got a weird time where, I mean, I only went once, but the door was like locked. I couldn't get in.
I do agree with that, though, with your general premise that they should be open. Sometimes it's hard for me to get to the post office.
Yeah. Because
I work for the post office. Like, I'm there before the counter opens, and I leave after the counter closes a lot of times.
Well, and then so do most people that work.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
so
and it's like, you could say like, well, that's going to cause more hours. Like, then you have to create more jobs and get more people. Like, if you have, but like, it should at least be open till 7.
Yeah.
So that like you have time, because that's when like the third shift starts, or
Sure. Yeah.
Third shift start at 7. Like,
I have this qualm particularly with hobby shops, because there's no reason that they need to keep those hours.
I mean, I have that problem with like everywhere, especially where we are in Utica. like food places, everything closes at 8:30 or 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
that's wild.
Why? It was like when we were doing the pizza place.
Yep.
They were gonna try it, but they didn't stick to it. They gave it like 3 weeks, and they're like, "We're not getting the business." Like, we're in a college town. I mean,
right.
As much as we don't want to
Crazy.
think about it, like Utica, people come from the city, from all over the place to go to Utica College. Same thing for MV, because MV has the baseball team and soccer team. Same thing for Herkimer. Like, Utica has a huge draw. That's why half of the side roads down behind Utica College are all houses that people are renting to college students. So like staying open till 11:30 or midnight, even if you're only open for like no dine-in, makes sense. Like, obviously, you're 3 weeks in, you're not going to make enough money because not enough people know you're open.
You got to give people time to figure it out.
Yeah. Like, they didn't give it long enough. And I'm like, you get something that's open like that, and the kids finally do it. It's like, I can only imagine. Like, think about this. And granted, obviously, the first time I went to it was in a huge city, but Insomnia Cookies. It built off literally the concept of being open late night for college kids to just order cookies and milk. And I mean,
we knew the places that were open late. When I went to Buffalo, we had Zuby's.
Yeah.
Maybe it was that. Zonies. They specialized in calzones.
Yeah, I mean,
they were open till like 4.
Well, that was my favorite thing. Like in North Carolina, Cookout was open till 2 a.m. on normal nights. Friday, Saturday, open till 4.
Yeah.
Like,
it's big.
It's huge. Like, if I'm out having a good time with friends, even if I'm not drinking, like say I'm just hanging out with some buddies and we're hanging out till 2 a.m, and then I'm going home and I'm like, man, I'm hungry. My only options are McDonald's or Taco Bell.
Yep. 4th meal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get that. All right. So we just cracked the 2-hour record time.
Well, I believe that's a good time to take a little
you got
a little quit.
You got a bow to tie on it, or you want to bring up any last things to lead us out?
No,
good.
I mean, I think it'd be interesting if we get people to leave some of their thoughts on either our social media or sending it in to us in our email, like how they feel about.
I would love to see that
marijuana industry. I think that would be cool. That was kind of my point of picking this, and like kind of leaving it open. But just kind of have a free-flowing discussion and not have anything real specific.
Yeah. Tell us some whack shit that we said.
Yeah. If you agree with things we said, if you didn't agree.
We're not no damn scholars. So we want to hear from people who are listening.
Yeah. And with that, we bid you farewell.
We bid you farewell. Thank you and congratulations for making it to the end of this episode of Queered on the Street. We have been your hosts, Vince and Josh. You can find us on our socials. You can find us on Twitter at Queered on the Street, QUORD on the ST. If you're listening to us on YouTube /Queered on the Street, go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment. And wherever you're listening to us, whether it's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you can leave a review, please leave us a review. If you tell us what we can do worse, I promise I will read it on the podcast, unless it's just too mean.
If you have any need to contact us in a longer format, you can email us at queeredonthestreet@gmail.com, or you can visit us on our website, queeredonthestreet.xyz. Feel free to leave us a voice message on there. If you want to reach out to us individually, you can get a hold of us at our personal Twitters. Mine is @I'mScuzzy, IMSKUZZEY.
And I am at V_C, spell out the underscore. We would finally like to acknowledge the people that made this podcast happen. Josh Wardle, who is the original creator of Wordle.
And Freddie Meyer, the creator of Quordle, who you can find on Twitter @Quordle.
And with that, we will just ask you, as always, to
get the cord out.